What's up, guys? So you read the title, you know what we're talking about. So this is John Krasinski's first time directing a movie. And there's a good number of directors that actually did a good job their first time around directing. But obviously that's not going to happen every single time. And sadly, this is kind of one of those movies that's not that great. Now that's not to say that this is a bad movie by any stretch, but at the same time it's really not anything special. And the movie's essentially about a guy reconnecting with his family due to a crisis. The only other movie that I can think of that kind of has that same basic premise is probably Big Fish. And that's basically comparing the 12-year-old scotch that you drink as an adult to the dirty 30 that you have no choice to drink because you're 19 and you're not old enough to drink yet here in America. I'll give it some credit because it did shed some light on how important family is and how important it is to, you know, keep up with them and make sure that they're okay. Because you could die tomorrow, you could get hit by a bus, you could get mauled by a Bengal, like who knows what could happen. And not only that, but to be honest with your family so you avoid certain situations kind of like the ones in the movie. And I will say, Krasinski actually did get some pretty good dramatic acting out of the movie. The mom and the dad particularly did a pretty good job. And of course, Anna Kendrick's awesome in pretty much everything. But that was the main problem, was the only thing that was like serviceable by pretty much everybody was the dramatic acting. And the trailer sold the movie as if it was supposed to be like a quirky little comedy or something like that, and I had maybe a couple of chuckles throughout the entire thing. Like, the comedic timing just wasn't as good as it could have been. I mean, shit, Sharlto Copley was way funnier in Hardcore Henry compared to this movie. And surprisingly enough, Charlie Day, nothing. Which sucked because I thought he really got, like, the family dynamic down. Especially with Sharlto Copley's character, because he's just, like, constantly trying to convince his daughters, like, yeah, I'm not a deadbeat, and I still love you guys, even though you're not living with me, blah, blah, blah. And he did a good job conveying how scary it is to have kids. Or rather, like, the nervous uncertainty that you have when you're about to have a kid for the first time. Like, all that stuff was there, but in the end, it just didn't feel as meaningful as it should have. Like, I personally didn't really care as much about the characters as I expected that I would. I did like how the ending kind of brought everybody together in this really, like, imperfect way to the point where it was, like, a little bit more believable. And some of the music was good, but most of it was just, like, throwaway kind of background noise. But all in all, I wouldn't say I had a bad experience, but it wasn't, like, a particularly special or an awesome experience, and I didn't really laugh a whole lot. However, the message behind the movie is supremely positive, and a lot of people can probably connect with it. I'm sure not everybody in the world gets along with their families, but for the ones that do, I believe it's very healthy to have this kind of like symbiotic support system. Like, that kind of relationship is really, really essential. If it's available to you, you should take advantage of that. If for no other reason, because not everybody has a family that they can fall back on or talk to. So I'm gonna give this movie a slight edge and give it a 5.1. It fell short of my expectations, but the overall message was good, and for a first time directing, I don't think Krasinski did that bad of a job. I feel like he'll hit his stride, like maybe if he does like 2 or 3 more of these like kind of small indie movies or whatever. Because you can just tell from like the charisma of all the characters that there was a lot of passion involved in the project, but it just didn't quite gel properly, so I'm sure I'll hit his stride eventually. Alright guys, that's my 2 cents for the day. Hope it was worth it. If you saw the movie, leave a comment, let me know what's up. Other than that, just like, subscribe, do all that other shit, and I'll catch you guys later.